Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Odie for a Labor Day.
Man, yeah, it's Monday. Man, I love that shirt.
We're just red, white, and blue, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're loving it. If you work for a living and today's your day to relax, take it easy, get you some barbecue. If you don't work, not because you're retired, but you don't work because you're getting
you don't
free
work.
check and all that stuff, and you ain't got to, go ahead and take the day off on our account. You're already getting paid for doing that. Might as well stay at home for doing that.
Oh, I'll be done.
Hey.
Tell it how it is. Good morning to you. A lot has happened over the last 72 hours. One thing that as we lost Jimmy Buffett, shocking.
Man.
And the tribute that was done at the Alabama game of everybody singing, that was give you little goosebumps there with him.
Man, that's something.
So Cheeseburger in Paradise. What's your favorite Jimmy Buffett?
Cheeseburger in Paradise. Yep.
And as you think back on that, never had a number one until Alan Jackson rolled in his life. As much as those Margaritaville has been played, didn't make it 2 or 3 on the charts. Just didn't make the number one slot.
That's something. And of course, you go to Cosmel, and they've got a Margaritaville there. I mean, it's pretty cool.
He made a living out of
being a beach bum.
Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. But his sister has restaurants,
Lulu's.
And of course, it ended up, as we find out after the fact, it was skin cancer that finally got Jimmy. 4 years of battling that.
Man, I couldn't believe that when I saw it, because I hadn't heard anything.
Not one word.
Man, good morning from Dalewood, Woody's Woodworks. Boy, if you need a pier,
Woody can do it.
Woody can do it. And I mean, I don't know how you do it. He's a member of our dive team. And very intricate part of it, because we get in a lot of what we call dark water. You can't see nothing. You might as well just put a bag over your head and close it off, because you can't see.
It's like being blindfolded is what you're saying.
You are bad blindfolded. And he builds stuff underwater, and you can't see.
How do you take them postal diggers underwater?
He uses water jets.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about me working for you.
Me neither. And that's all year long. He doesn't work when it's warm. I got cold one day. I saw him in the water. And then he runs that slide out there.
Oh,
One of these days I'm going to get on that slide.
You just go right ahead, Odie.
You can take a picture, huh?
Do you remember Friday when we showed the video of the burglary, robbery, I think is a better word for it, robbery in Newton?
Yeah.
It was there at the plaza, there at the quick cash place. They put out the video of it. Turns out, let's go here to look at this bean footage here. Husband and wife team have been arrested for this. Newton PD confirms it. We've got Christopher Culpepper, I'm assuming, who had the outfit on, who came in.
Yeah.
And then here's the wife, Bethany Culpepper. I got a little happy there with
Culpepper.
But they've both been taken into custody over this situation. Again, that happened on Friday. And as the chief had called me to give me the information, he and I were talking, and he said, something don't add up. Well, now we know it didn't add up.
Not on their side. Hey, honey, we need some money. You just, I'm going to go in there and rob you, and you just...
You would be shocked how many times that happens in America. Where people team up, you come in, you rob me, I'm going to act like it.
Yeah.
So that's what went on with that situation there. So no outside folks, nothing to be worried about. Because it does spook you that somebody would come into small town USA like this and do a robbery. Gives you the, what's the word I'm looking for?
The EBGBs?
EBGBs.
Kind of like Citizens Bank on Highway 19.
Yes.
I wasn't robbing you. I was just trying to get a picture for my Facebook page.
Yeah. After a place has been robbed 2 to 3 times on a guy on a bicycle, you don't do that to employees.
No.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else happened over the weekend. Barrett-Nunnery is a name that is forever in Meridian history because they've sold so much hardware stuff.
Yeah, I'm in Barrett-Nunnery Hardware, and I've been around forever.
Let's take a look at what happened over the weekend, and here's a picture of this. Portions of the old building have collapsed, did it on its own. That's going to be a hazard at this point.
It is, because now you've got that much that had collapsed. The rest of the building now is in dire need of some work.
Of course, that's on Grand Avenue is where that took place.
Inside that building, we've been involved with some stuff with, you don't want to call it an illegal tire dump. It was a illegal tire storage.
Gotcha.
Working with DEQ to get all of that cleaned up.
People will just back up and drop whatever they can to get away with it.
Well, this was a company, and that's what they did. They were into tire recycling, but they didn't go about this the right way. You can't store that many tires in a building.
Because if that were to catch fire,
you're not hardly putting that thing out.
Ooh, yeah.
So now it's got to be completely cleaned up, but now you're in a safety issue. How do you do that?
Good point.
So it's going to be a long process, but one that's got to be done in a very speedy manner.
Here we are. But we're getting more birthdays in this morning as we get another one here.
Terry Dean. We got Angela Wilson. Happy 44th. And now we've got Terry Dean.
Yeah.
But we don't know how old he is.
Get us your birthdays. We'd love to tell everybody about it. We'll reveal some ages. As we turn to some other things, there's a bunch of these that we're going to go over in the next few moments. But a home and a house was hit with gunfire over the weekend. I know I'm not shocking anybody, but it happened again as we pull this up to take a look. This would be in 5th Street and 41st Avenue area as a home was hit and also a car in there. Now, the shots rang out. Nobody was injured, thank heavens, but one of those many times it happens in Meridian.
Yeah, that's, man, we need, 5th Street used to be the main draw, beautiful homes, main stretch of Meridian, and now, I mean, look what we get. All
right, let's go to some, like I said, I've got several places that had gunfire, and let's go here over to Westgate Hills area. We had a home in that area, the 6,000 block area that gunfire rang out. No one was hurt, no one was injured on this one either, but gunfire there also. As we'll go to 36th Street next, Odie, as we see the gunfire rang out the 3500 block of 36th Street. Now, again, no one hurt, no one injured in these, but it was definitely gunfire that was waking everybody up. Oh,
yeah, that's terrible.
We've got another one now. This one, interesting. I thought somebody had been shot. Therefore, I think for a little while, even the Meridian Police Department thought somebody was shot. As we pull this up to take a look at it, gunshots would ring out at 29th Avenue and 12th Street. Black Camaro was seen speeding away from the scene, Odie. If you happen to see that, that'll give you the heebie-jeebies. But the guy that was running, trying to get away from the gunfire, hurt himself somehow or another on his foot or leg, and he was bleeding pretty bad. And, of course, you would think, well, we got a gunshot victim. But it ended up, it was just he was running faster than the speed of light, so to speak, and was injured. He's going to be okay. But a scary moment there for Meridian, thinking we had another victim. Thank heavens it wasn't in the end.
We don't need any. 7 is way too many, and we don't need anything over 7.
That's right. We also go to, here's our next one. Let's go over here and take a look at this one, Odie. As we see the 3800 block of Poplar Springs Drive, gunfire would break out. Here's Poplar Springs United Methodist Church. In the curve, here's Heritage Apartments. Right here at this intersection is where gunfire would ring out right there. We see a lot in that area nowadays.
And and that was a nice place, those apartment homes.
Oh, yeah.
And, wow. They must have gone to Rock House and got their ammos for the big tent sale.
We were out there. We're not done yet, you're thinking. Here we are. Overnight gunfire, 29th Avenue and 20th Street. Now, this would be right down from the Old Town Pharmacy is where this one would take place. No one hurt, no one injured. But I'm telling you, the folks were out this weekend doing a lot of that. Coming up, we're going to tell you how a Mississippi possum has caused an accident.
Yeah.
I ain't kidding.
A little old possum.
We'll be right back. Garrett Outfitters on 8th Street is getting you ready for summertime. A large selection of cool hobo shirts. Maybe it's short sleeves. Maybe you need a pair of shorts. If you're going to be cutting grass or maybe riding a tractor this summer, you're going to need a straw hat to keep cool. And as you head to that favorite fishing hole, don't forget you'll need a pocket knife along with a great rod and reel. And if you earn your living in the woods, don't forget to check out their big selection of snake boots, Carhartt pants and shirts for any occasion. It's Garrett Outfitters, 3505 8th Street, Meridian. Have you been wanting your own building, your own shed? Speak to our friends at Best Sadia Building, 601-728-1954. Now, they can custom build you a home from a barn dominium. Maybe it's a shed that you're needing or a simple place to park your car, a garage, a camp house. Maybe you need a place to park your tractor, your motorcycle, or even that lawnmower. They can custom design whatever it is you need. Quality work, trustworthy, Best Sadia Buildings. Speak with Drew, 601-728-1954. Summertime has arrived and Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 has the exact lawnmower for your need. If you've got a big yard with acres and acres to mow, they have a mower for that. No matter the size yard you have, Freeman Tractor has the lawnmower that fits you and your budget. From 48-inch all the way up to 60, or the X-Mark lawnmower. Plenty of these to choose from. Also, they carry a complete line of LS tractors. Come by for a test drive today. Financing available. Drop in today to Freeman Tractor, Highway 494, see coleslaw or buttermilk. You know, Donna made a good point of having to labor on Labor Day.
Yeah, I've got some work I've got to do after the show for a little while. So, it's not a full day off, but hey.
A few hours at least.
Yeah, a few hours. We got a couple more birthdays to get in, and that's George Blackwell Jr. is having a birthday. And C.C. Ryder's wife, Candy, has got a birthday today.
Hope it's a big one.
Happy birthday. Y'all take the day off today.
Now, here's the bad part. If you haven't, as a man, and this is only for me, I can't make no cake. It just is not possible. So
I can make the cake, but I ain't gonna decorate it.
I can't do any of it. Only thing I'm good at is licking the
batter. The beater.
The beater.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a gift as a kid. But I have to rely on other people to make my birthday cake. So if you ain't bought one, you're in trouble. I'm just warning you, because there have been times I woke up and realized, I need a cake quick.
Well, we also grew up in the time where you didn't go buy one off the shelf.
Oh, no, it was all made at home, and this is when those beaters came into play.
Right. There was two of them, and me and Charlene would both be sitting there going,
I am so shocked that you even got one.
I know, me too.
Because she could take you down.
Yeah. Till we got a little older.
Things changed. Dot, you're right. There are a lot of birthdays this morning. We hope each and every one of you are having a great one there. As we mentioned, we Ray Stevens singing about the Mississippi squirrel. We now have the Mississippi possum.
Scott County possum.
Smith County.
Smith County possum.
As the Mississippi Highway Patrol was called out of, we've got a possum that just caused an accident. So we thought we'd show. We recreated the event so that you would know about it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's the possum.
Look at that picture that Danny put on that poor possum. I'm laid out.
He just walked right out in the road. It caused a motorcycle accident. Now, the good news with this is the guy on the motorcycle was not seriously hurt.
Yeah.
But you got to be, I guess, I'm not a motorcycle rider, but any critter that you bump with a motorcycle can be dangerous.
Yeah. And, them are some ugly-looking dudes.
Let's get another look at him to see how ugly he is. There he is. That's straight from the motorcycle helmet.
That's, man.
You can't find stuff like this anywhere else, folks.
No, New York won't never have nothing like this.
No, we cover possums in the whole 9 yards.
Even possums on a half shell.
That's right. If it happens in the area, we're on it there. Now, let's talk about another thing that happened over the weekend that shut down I-24. How many hours, Odie?
And see, we had the entire interstate westbound shut down for probably hour and a half, better part hour and a half, and then we were able to get it down to one lane, and so another hour and a half on one lane.
Let's pull up some of these pictures as you're talking about that.
Yeah.
Here's what we mean. This is right across from this truck is the Holiday Inn.
Yep.
Is where this is coming into Meridian. Sam's is across the other side, and Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, and man, I tell you, that was a heck of a ride. But MPD was out with Meridian Fire, and MPD's investigating everything.
Now, what is this stuff here? Because as you can see, the 18-wheeler is cracked open from the roof.
Yeah, so that's plastic air conditioning foundation pads.
Oh, okay, to put underneath your AC units.
Yeah,
Okay,
so,
all right.
That's what that is. So luckily, he was only 16,000 pounds, but it tore his truck up.
Oh, there ain't anything left of that. As you'll see there, Meridian Fire Department trying to clean up the road so it won't be slick when the road is opened back up with all the glass and different things that were involved in that. This young lady here, her car was also smashed up. How many cars total was
There
it?
was 6 passenger cars and an 18-wheeler.
Whew, that's a heap. Both of these were involved.
Yeah. And some people did go to the hospital to get checked out, but bumps and bruises, nothing serious. Had a couple of small children that were in a vehicle that got checked out.
As you can see right there, that's how the traffic was backed up. If you were lucky, you were behind this exit. If you were lucky.
Or either
Getting
down
off of
at Jimmy Rogers, but still, man,
Look
it
at
was
that.
A crowd. Yeah, and he went for a ride. He was fine. He got out, was walking around,
And let me just show this. This is the expert. Truck's coming up here in just a second.
yeah. I mean, that's just it's been involved in a wreck, but they're going to take their time and flip it over just as gently as possible. And they're going to take this thing back to the shop and most likely get it back on the road.
And then they just ease that truck on over is the way that goes down.
Yeah.
We'll speed that up just a little bit. And there she goes. She's set back up. But they do this every day, and probably one of the largest companies around that do this. A big thank you to Simmons getting that out of the roadway so everybody could get their lives back to normal. But total of 7 vehicles involved, and no one seriously hurt.
Very lucky.
Now, I think a lot of people went to be checked out, but still no life-threatening injuries. That is miracles.
Yeah, it really is. That could have been real bad.
Yeah.
So glad everybody was safe. I'm not saying what caused the wreck and what didn't, just reiterating, you've got to be safe while you're on these interstates, especially when it's raining. Mm-hmm. Yes, the speed limit is 65 when you're coming into Meridian, or 70, and then it comes down to 60 when you come into Meridian. That is on a clear, nice, dry day. When it's raining or the roads are wet, your speed limit should or does drop. Not legally, but you should control your speed and be careful because things like this
And we've
do happen.
all been driving and you feel your car. That means slow down. That's like that little warning sign. Slow it down.
Driving by the seat of your pants. When that dude wiggles, it's time to
Yes, sir.
reposition that accelerator pedal.
Joyce Murphy joining us from Newton County. We'll also have Shine joining in. Bill has got Kemper County turned on for us today. Virgil.
Man, Virgil Walters.
Man, I like Virgil.
We need a preacher watching this.
Yes, we do. All right, we had an incident involving a city truck in the city limits of Meridian. Let's go look at that beautiful bean footage there, Odie. Here we are. Whoop, what's that? Dented up front end.
Yeah, the bumper don't look like it's too good.
It's got an issue there. It's still going to keep rolling on down the road, but that was the scene of what we had there over the weekend. 18-wheeler involved with that. That could have been a lot worse. When I tell you, Odie, when the rain started coming down, I could not keep up with this as to how many wrecks there was. It was all I could do to get it out.
Well, I mean, because everybody calls. You can call you. Hey, we got this, we got this, we got this. And, yeah. I mean, you're trying to type, answer the phone, and I can see where that becomes a issue. We need to get you 2 more phones.
I went and bought an extra one. I got 2 now. And I run up on that when you're live on an accident scene and you're getting messages and you can't read it. Something had to be done. So we got 2 for situations that occur like that. Look, we've told this, and it still is, don't be fooled that just because we've had a little bit of rain in the area, do not burn anything.
Still under a burn ban.
Now, and remind me of this, because I guess I've never driven down the road. As many times as I've seen the sign, I've never turned and drove down it. Dr. Brock Road. Is there a bunch of sand hills and places that you can ride back in there?
I don't think so. It comes back out on Valley Road. There's some houses back up in there. There is some old gullies and some land. But people like to burn in that area over there. They get called a good bit.
Pretty much a campfire, and but when it got out of control, they went whoof and fled the scene. Now, leaving your car behind does not help your cause because it does have a tag on it. Just as a little friendly reminder there, they will figure out who you are.
I mean, even Cheech and Chong knew there was a tag on the bumper.
That's right.
Come on.
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh.
But they did leave the scene. The Clarkdale showed up and finally got the fire put out. It wasn't, but it's a concern right now as to it could cause a forest fire and people lose their homes. Is why it's such a stickler on this of not to do this. Well, you can call this a campfire or a bonfire, whichever way you want to word that.
Whichever way. And so people don't realize this. If you build a fire, that smoke belongs to you. So if that smoke, and it doesn't, it depends on what your weather ceiling is, if that smoke blows across the road and makes it hard to see and someone has a wreck, you caused that wreck.
I've seen this in other states to where a forest fire, and it just makes the highways black, and then next thing you know, there's pileups.
A couple of years ago, we had to shut both sides of the interstate down for about 3 hours because smoke had gotten in there. The ceiling was so low that the smoke would not rise. And 3-4 hours, we had the entire interstate shut down because you couldn't see anything.
And Terry said, the fire was just unattended, not out of control. But it could have got out of control with somebody leaving, is what my point was on that. And appreciate that, Terry.
And now, if somebody's growing trees, if they're farming trees, you know how much that tree's worth? Because you're fixing to buy each one of them.
Ooh,
not how much it's valuable now, but what is this value going to be if it was to mature? A tree ain't cheap, and when you turn around and burn somebody else's tree, especially during a burn ban.
If you'd like Odie to represent you, he's going to be in his office all day. He's good at this. We'll be right back. Scotty Ray and Odie.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
Philadelphia Gun and Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. And tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn. Are you looking for a job that could last a lifetime? Structural Steel is hiring now. With employees that have been there from 20 to 40 years, they're family owned and operated since 1975. Competitive starting wages, a 401k package, and great insurance. Immediate openings on the day shift and night shift. From entry-level helpers, welding and tacking, grinding and fitting. And the list goes on of job openings. Start your future today at Structural Steel. Call 483-5381. Welcome back, Scotty Ray to Odie, as we continue your Labor Day morning. I want to say that today will be kicking off downtown Scuba. The horse show is going to be taking place today, Labor Day show.
Oh.
It got rained out on Saturday, so they had to postpone it till today.
Well, good deal. Y'all go in there and take in a good good horse show.
Now, another thing that that happened over the weekend, Windsor Road was the scene, and you could hear the fire trucks for miles in the area. As we pulled this up to take a look, the structure fire happened. And Odie, did we lose the home on this?
Yes, the house was lost. The lady and her son got out. They're
That's
fine.
good.
We've got Red Cross involved for them, but they're good. She did lose everything that she owned, so definitely need prayers for them. Very nice people. Got to speak with them for a little while last night. But Bailey had a great response. Sukalina Northeast was out there and was able to get this thing out. It was completely gone when everybody got there, when Bailey got there. But definitely prayers for this family.
And I'm sure that somebody's going to have clothes sizes because, as you said, they lost everything, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost everything. So we'll get some clothes size and see what they need, and we'll push that out. And same with anybody. If y'all suffered a house fire, and you need some help from the public, let us know. We'll be glad to try and push that out so we can get people to help you. Mississippi will do that. We will definitely help our neighbors in time of need like this.
I can't imagine, and I don't want to know that. But y'all sit back and think about that of what everything costs from your home, your car, and the contents. But when you get into just the cost of clothing, a shirt costs $50 nowadays,
and a pair of pants. I never thought that just
blows you away.
That's crazy. Rick, hey brother, still got prayers going up for him and his family, and just y'all send some prayers out for Rick there. He goes above and beyond with Martin Fire and Rescue and protects everybody, and just a solid dude right there. And so we just need to send some prayers Brother Rick's way there.
I know the Mississippi Highway Patrol is out doing this in areas, but as we see this weekend, if you rolled up on this, Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department, also MPD, were working together this weekend, to check some driver's license and to make sure everybody was behaving. And they expect that at least through midnight tonight.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be out there, so go have fun. Just let somebody else drive you around.
What was it that John Anderson used to sing? When you get on the whiskey, let somebody else drive?
Yeah. Man, but I love seeing Sheriff's Department and MPD working together.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that is a good one there. Glad they could work that out. Now, I don't know, a lot of times I find out of accidents and things that go on. But you don't always get where there's more to the story. And this is one of those, I don't have the rest of the story. I wish I'd had it like Paul Harvey would have on this, because there has got to be a story as we pull this up. A car was driven into a home, like on purpose.
No garage.
Right. Just driven right up there in the house there, by golly.
You're not going to answer the door, I'll come in there.
A dispute of some sort. And again, we don't know the exact reason, but a car was in the house. 2 hours later, a block or really, really close to there, gunfire would ring out. Now, no one was hurt, but it was in that same location there, 3200 block of 12th Street. A lot of action on that street. We don't know if the two had anything to do with each other. I cannot say that.
Chances are.
Now, I'm going to handle this next subject very delicately.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of times where there's things that I know that happen that I don't post, and a lot of things I do. And a lot of times I get stories and you go, well, what'd I do with that?
Yeah.
And I got one of those this weekend. Let's just say that there's a minivan parked on the side of the road.
Okay.
Okay. Police officer. Hey, how you doing today?
Yes, sir.
They look up just like that. Oh, what's that in the back? Oh, a dead body. A dead body? What's a dead body doing in the back of a minivan?
He wanted to go for a ride.
That's what it sounded like. As we dig into this would be out near Jimmy Rogers. It would be somebody that was, and you want your loved ones that pass away treated with a lot of dignity. This person had passed away and was en route to another town, and the driver decided to pull over, turn the car off, and take a big nap. And this is one of those situations where they may not have just passed away. Let's just say that I'm trying to be as politically correct as I can on this. And I'll just back off. I'll let y'all's mind figure out the rest of that part. But it really wasn't that far, and I can't see why you would need a nap is what I'm getting at. 3 hours is from point A to point B is not nap time.
But you should have done that before you started your nap.
Yeah.
Or before you started your trip, especially when you got that kind of cargo.
Yep. So what's the moral of this story? Choose your funeral homes wisely is what I'm getting at. It's nobody local. This was out-of-town people handling this situation.
As long as it's in Mississippi, it might be okay.
Well, they weren't. They were headed east.
Ooh.
There you go. There.
You can't cross the state line. It's sad you can stay within your state with him. But you can't cross state line.
Oh, you can't, can you? Huh.
Kind of like a deer. I wouldn't bring a deer over here from another state.
That's not smart.
Ooh.
People, but and there truly is that there's a lot of things that happen that you just don't. Woof. And
yeah, what goes on?
Yeah.
And we have a main thoroughfare.
Yes, sir.
That interstate goes from one side over here to one side over here, and if you're going from east to west, you're coming through Mississippi if you're on if you're below the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, there's no way around this, is it? We'll be right back. We're going back in history to see if you know it all, because we don't. We're going to see if you do. J&J Tire and Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes. And they even do work on motorcycles. With the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems. Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian.
Patrick Allen Companies services and repairs all brands of overhead doors, residential and commercial. Our service technicians are factory trained and have over 125 years of combined experiences. At Patrick Allen Companies, we are not interested in being the biggest, just the best. We are just 4 miles south of Meridian on Highway 145. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and this is Odie, and we're already at 7:30. You believe that?
Golly. Man, look at that. I like that shirt. Scotty Ray and Odie.
Boy, it does stick out.
Man,
we're
it
all going to have
does.
some made before
It's
long.
going to be all right.
Some Odieisms, and we'll have several flavors made.
That's right. Y'all just hang in there.
1886. Let's start this thing back in history. And I passed by, I was on a job, South Alabama, and I went by where this gentleman was held for a little while. It's still a place out there, and it's run down now. It's not being taken care of. And I thought, wow, what history this close to our area.
Yeah.
Geronimo surrendered on this date back in 1886. He was a bad boy.
Geronimo!
We've all heard it.
Yeah.
Geronimo. And one of the last of the great warriors there were when it comes to the Indian Nation. He surrendered on this date. He was tough.
Yes, he was.
My absolute, if you were to take anybody that has ever been in broadcasting, there's two that are great. One would be Rush Limbaugh. The next would be this man who really, in my opinion, started it.
Yes. Yes.
1918, this man was born. He would be known as Paul Harvey. You would learn to trust if he told you something that was the truth. He didn't. He actually, as always, if he talked about your product, he made sure that it was good. He wasn't just going to talk about it. He made sure that product done.
Yeah, he used it.
Made sure Angel jumped on it and checked it all out.
That's right.
Paul Harvey, a man among men, was born on this date. I think it was 2009 that we lost Paul Harvey. And the rest of, and I kept thinking that Paul Jr., but Paul Jr. just didn't have the voice.
No, and it just the charisma that you could hear.
Yeah,
just wasn't there. It's just Rush Limbaugh. When it comes to political talk in our country, you can't you can't duplicate it.
No, you cannot. Just the best of the best of what Paul Harvey was.
Yep, that he was.
This makes you want to. This next subject makes you want to go grab a rock somewhere, doesn't it?
I'd have never known it by Howard Morris.
I wouldn't either, but y'all all know him as Ernest T. Born in 1919, better known as Howard Morris, and he was always chased. What was that old girl's name from the Darlings? The blonde-headed one. And you remember the episode where Barney had to wear the dress on the horse and ride backwards, ride to east to west or something to break the marriage off?
What was it?
Oh, do you remember the episode where Ernest T wanted the uniform and he kept busting out the window of the where you sign up to go for the military?
Yeah.
And all he wanted was the uniform. He didn't want to join. He just wanted the uniform.
Charlene said
Charlene.
it. Charlene.
Charlene Darling. There you go. Charlene said it was Charlene.
That's
Bob
right.
remembers too.
Yeah.
And she
Dang,
was
Alligator, Pam, everybody knew.
she was a pretty girl.
We knew. We were just wanting to make sure that y'all knew.
Did we know? Okay, we're going to say that.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed
It
and some
sounds good. My toes are crossed.
counts for something, doesn't it? 1928, a guy named by the name of Dick York was born. He would be number one.
Yeah.
Number one, Darren.
Yeah, that other one was just goofy.
I like this one a whole lot
Yeah.
better. Dick York, who played.
Derwin.
She did call him everything, didn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever, Derwin. Samantha, probably at the time, one of the most beautiful women that graced television at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Elizabeth Montgomery.
Yep.
She was it in a bag of chips back in the day.
That's right.
And of course, it is Derwin Darren, however you want to say
Darren, but that's what Ma-in-law called him, Derwin.
that. And you know, they never ever really addressed on the show. They just went on like there was no change.
Oh, yeah.
Like he just looks a little different today.
Yeah, went from one to another. But yeah, I think he was the best one.
Let's go back to 1953, a TV show that y'all loved, and it had an accent to it. Welcome back, Kotter.
Welcome back, Kotter.
As we look at what went on there in the classroom. This would be Lawrence Hilton, Jacob, the guy on the left there, and with the they all had a name, and I can't remember what it was. The class or the group.
Y'all come on. I know y'all do as smart as y'all are.
I can remember Carter calling them something, and boy, that's been years since I've seen that TV show. So maybe you were a big fan of Welcome Back, Kotter. Well,
You got
Sweat
Sweat
Hog.
Hogs. That's it. See, we knew Bill would come in there with it.
I knew it was.
Hedgehog.
Hedgehogs is close, but Sweat
Close.
Hogs was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweat Hogs.
1954, and this is somebody that really and truly didn't know what they were doing, but it was an audience that was scared. They had been listening to Slim Whitman and things of that nature and didn't know good music. Bless their hearts.
Didn't know what a beat was.
No. He walks out on the stage and is known worldwide. He sings Blue Moon of Kentucky, and they say, boy, you ain't much good at what you're doing. You really ought to consider driving a truck for the rest of your life. Good thing he didn't listen to them,
Ain't that the truth?
because it went right on to become a legend as Elvis debuted on the Opry. And according to Opry officials at the time, it flopped to their standards. The rest of the world saw it a little bit different there.
Well, you know, he came to the Jimmy Rogers talent contest and lost.
Yep.
Right here in Meridian.
He would leave the Opry and drive over to Shreveport, a little thing that was going on called the Louisiana Hayride. And they said, whoa, you're good. Sign this.
Yeah, we'll stay. We'll
It
keep-
was the launch of what made him what he is, the Louisiana Hayride. And, of course, Hank Williams, when he got fired from the Opry, drove right on down to Shreveport and got on the Louisiana Hayride. There was many of them. And you're right. Meridian has, I don't think Faith Hill won the talent show at Jimmy
I don't
Rogers
think
either.
So. A lot of people that's come through and competed in that talent show. Just look at the people that we've got from Meridian
Yeah.
that can sing, Mississippi that can sing. We are the
Chad
state
Atkins
of the
somewhere
music.
still doing Elvis this morning. That boy's good at that. I don't know if y'all know that or not. Y'all bump
So he
into
can do it?
Yeah, he can do it too. Just ask Chad to sing you a little Elvis next time. 1954, it got the best of him. He thought, boy, it sure is hot. Next thing he knew, he was married. After knowing her 2 weeks. Front row.
Well,
We didn't say it lasted. We just said that he got started after a 2-week romance. The Possum got married there at his first. She was only 18 at the time. Shirley Ann Corley is who he married there. I think, was it 3 for George?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Of course, the last one would straighten him out and take his bottle away from him, take his car keys. He'd have to resort to lawnmowers.
Didn't have a choice but to stay with him.
Yeah, that's right. She ruled it.
I hated that show.
A 1, a 2, and a 3. It was all over after tonight. The problem is, for the next 9 years, you would be inundated by reruns, and they were just as bad as they were when it aired the first time. What do we thought?
We only had one TV, and it was on that channel.
Reruns to 1982. Let's see some more of that beautiful ballroom dancing. Yeah, that would flop bigger than anything today. But
It would.
back then, that worked, and the tap dancing, all of that, and the ladies.
I'd have never thought that Daddy would have watched that, but
He did?
now he probably didn't watch it. Mama wanted to, so he said, okay.
You see things differently.
Yeah. I'm like, really? I grew up watching Benny Hill with Daddy.
Oh, my gosh, that was funny.
If y'all... They can't play that on HBO. That's regular TV.
They had it on PBS for a little while.
Yeah, it come on at 9 or something like
The
that.
Benny Hill show. He was always mischievous, and it was probably more my kind of show than this. But
yeah.
I'm trying to be politically correct. Even in today's standard, it pushed the line.
Yeah.
There was a lot of short skirts, let me say that. He always seemed to be at the right place at the wrong time.
And he was always peeing out of a water hose.
Yeah, that water hose and then turn around.
And you can't assume. Because you know what happens when you assume.
It happens to the best of us.
That's right. Man, I tell you, that was a good show.
1972, this was the #1 album in America because she was so happy. She was the happiest girl in the whole USA as Donna Fargo had the #1. And she was beautiful back then.
She was. Look at them shorty shorts.
We call those Dallas Cowboy cheerleader shorts. Don't bend over, Ethel.
It just winked at me.
She, bless her heart.
Oh,
but she was,
man.
that really struck a chord with America and shot to the top.
Oh, yeah.
You fix my lunch and I'll fix yours. We know that don't really happen.
Jackie said, you hadn't lived until you were made to watch Lawrence Welk.
That's right. If we would put this in prisons, people would come out better people because they'd be scared they'd have to watch it again.
We might want to try that.
Call
Chief,
Ward.
are you watching? Yeah. Because this right here, that might be something. Pipe that into all the TVs.
Everybody be going around Meridian 1, a 2, and a 3.
Yeah. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
1981. I have no idea. I know that she's a great singer. I've never heard any, and I don't know any, but I'm sure Odie, my rap star over here, Beyonce.
I've heard some of her songs. She's got some good songs. But yeah, I mean, talent-wise, she is top notch.
Yeah, I thought so there. 1981, there's no getting over me. It was the #1 song in America. Who are we talking about? Ronnie Millsap.
Yeah.
He is good.
He didn't even like to watch Lawrence Welk.
But the funniest thing I know that ever happened was Debbie picked him up from the airport.
Really?
They're driving down the road, and he goes, "Stop! You're on the red light!" Scared her to death.
At least he was.
Oh, he had humor. He had humor.
Yeah.
And he picked on Debbie the whole time when they were riding around town about stopping and speeding like he could see it. It was
He
funny.
might not could see it, but he could feel how she was driving.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. As we go, this is probably one of the greatest bands from the 70s that ever came around.
Yeah.
1982. Anybody remember the Steve Miller Band?
Man.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
Not one of my favorites. I liked Big Old Jet Airliner. I'm a smoker. I'm a joker. I'm a midnight.
Toker.
Yeah. Okay, I've never done that. I didn't know what all that meant until I was 30.
Ann Hall said she loved the Lawrence Welk show.
Well, go, Ann.
Yeah.
We just didn't find it as good as you did.
No.
Rodney says he's got that album. After Bonanza ended, you thought he just fell off the face of the earth. Adam Cartwright rode off into the sunset. Whoa, wait a minute. He found another TV show. He just didn't look like himself at all.
We'll come right back.
There he is. Trapper John, MD, ended on this date back in 82, but you had to really look at it to realize that was Adam Cartwright.
Yeah. Totally different.
Hotness is not a word. Sexy, is that
sexy?
Sexy?
Yeah.
We would lose one of the greats that passed away on this date. What you laughing about?
Back to 420.
Oh, I got you now. We would lose Dottie West on this Daytime Friends and Nighttime Lovers, as her and Kenny Rogers had many duets, and she dressed the part. She would be on her way to the Grand Ole Opry, and if you've ever been to the Opry, getting off on that exit hut wraps around into Opryland. That's where the accident happened. She would lose her life. A few days later, she stayed in intensive care for quite some time, and we lost the great Dottie West back in 91.
Wow.
I liked her.
Yeah. She wasn't bad to look at.
No, not a bit there. She gave Tanya Tucker a run for the money. This is one of Odie's favorite people.
The plane.
He's got a birthday today, and I can't pronounce his name.
Have Jean-Pierre Vachiz.
We're just going to call him Tattoo. Has a birthday today. It's easier.
Birthday. Yeah.
That was a good show. It
was.
Or am I just under the influence?
No, it was good.
Okay. Everybody has some type of fantasy or something they like to have, and well, they brought it to light.
Yeah.
Let's go back to 06, and we would lose somebody that we watched every day.
Look at that. It's a pit viper. And if you get too close to it, it'll bite you. But I'm going to stick my finger in its mouth.
You're right. That's exactly what. And it ended up being, was it a stingray or something?
Stingray barb got him in the chest.
Wow.
You know, because, I mean, they're not going to sting you on purpose. But, yeah, it got him.
So his daughter, Brandy, has continued on. They've got this
And
big
the son,
zoo. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, she was on Dancing with the Stars a few years ago.
Can we talk? Do you know what I mean by that?
With that one?
Yeah. Do you remember that? That was her big saying. Can we talk?
Oh, it was.
It was. You'd forgotten, didn't you?
I did.
Joan Rivers
You know how
passed
much
away.
Plastic she's got?
That's why she died. It was something went wrong with the surgery. She was having more plastic surgery, and she didn't pull through.
I mean, that's terrible. We're getting a report that we've got a wreck on Lizelia. Oh, yeah. If you're going down Lizelia Road, just find you another way around. An 18-wheeler has crossed the highway.
Oh, boy.
So we'll try and get these sent over there to you and find out exactly about where this is at. Reporter Charlene.
She's on the scene.
She must be trying to go somewhere from the house. Right at Old Country Club Drive. So Country Club Drive in Lizelia. There's looks like an old chip truck. Looks like old chip truck may be still full.
And that is on Lizelia Road?
Yeah.
Okay. We're also getting reports of a house fire, Highway 16, just west over by the casino. Highway 16, a home is burning right now. So,
wow. Y'all be careful in those two areas. We're going to try and get these posted here in a little bit.
okay, Scuba Day has been postponed again.
Oh.
We don't have a time when it's been postponed to now, but it's not going to happen today. So, get us some pictures there. 2018, Odie, I didn't even realize this had happened. They kept it kind of quiet that they had been stolen for 13 years. And it makes Odie, I know Odie does this at home. He just doesn't talk about it. And I hadn't got Amy to admit it. Click, click. What am I talking about? The slippers. They had been missing for 9 years and were stolen and recovered on this date. The things that you learn. Wow.
And I can't remember, but they went through a auction, and a tremendous amount of money was spent buying those shoes. Mm-hmm. You can't wear them.
Lawanda, you're right. She did have a filthy mouth. There's
Yeah.
George Carlin, the only person I know that was even worse than that.
He was funny, but I couldn't listen to him because it was everywhere. And I was a sailor. And it was every other word.
It was. It made him blush, and he was a
Yeah.
sailor. If I start out this and go, home, can you come in with I
walk
keep
the
up
line.
close?
I can't
Watch
sing the
on
whole
this
word.
heart of mine.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, something like that. The Johnny Cash movie debuted on today. It was called I Walked the Line, and that really was a good movie. If you've
And
not
Phoenix.
seen it,
River, what's his name? River Phoenix?
Joaquin did the
Joaquin
part.
Phoenix.
His brother was River.
That's right. He was awesome.
Yeah, he's got issues, y'all, but he played that part some kind of good. So if you get a chance, check that out. Back in 2021, we would lose one of the all-time, well, when you thought of it being bad weather back in the day before we got the Weather Channel, this was who you went to. Bob Holland and this guy, Willard Scott. Willard passed away in 2021. As you know, that reminds me so much of Bob Holland, where they'd have to stick the temperatures up on the board.
Yeah, those were magnetics, and he had to draw all that, and that was just a plain metal map.
Yeah.
And you had to spend time doing the temperatures up there, and
More on the way
Wow.
with Scotty Ray and Odie. Vote no on October the 3rd. The Lauderdale County School Board wants to raise your taxes. The board is asking for an additional $12.5 million for the Career and Technical Education Project, bringing the total cost to $20.5 million, which means higher taxes for you to pay. The election alone will cost taxpayers $40,000 to $50,000. Send the school board a message. Vote no on raising your taxes by voting no for the $12.5 million for the Career and Technical Project, paid for by taxpayers for reduced Lauderdale County school spending. Are you ready for summer? Massey has a 2021 Jeep Wrangler that's waiting on you with only 61,000 miles. How about a Rogue with 57,000 miles? A 23 Camry with only 50 miles on it. Or maybe it's a Toyota Tacoma four-wheel drive that you're needing. From Silverados to F-250s, Massey Supermart Auto Sales, 1023 Highway 39 North.
Profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealer's are there to help.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and this is Odie as we begin this day. Over the weekend, a wreck on Highway 11 and 80, and let's take a look at some of this damage that was caused at this wreck.
right on the lip.
Woo, pretty serious there. As you can see, airbags were deployed, and what did it do to the Ford? It bent the bumper.
Oops. Well, at least it didn't hit it on the aluminum body.
That's true. That does tend to bend, doesn't it?
It does.
The tougher it is. And I also got a report of an accident that was over past Vicksburg, near Vicksburg. And as we do that, this was the first picture that I got in from the wreck there. You could see smoke. As we got into this, it would be an 18. Look at the traffic that was backed up. There was nowhere to go as we get into this. And this is what's left of an 18-wheeler. Look at that.
Nothing.
It's just... I do want to say someone may have lost their lives in that, their life. I don't have it all handy in front of me. North Hills, boy, when this happens, traffic's going to be backed up for quite some time, Odie.
Woo, yeah. Here we go again. One of these days, it's going to be worth it.
Right there, and we all know this. You're coming up on the red light at North Hills and Highway 39.
Yeah.
As you can see, we got some fender bender damage. It wasn't a huge accident, but this road shuts down. Now, am I right in saying that there's too much in there to 4-lane that all the way over, isn't it? They'd have to buy too much, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and there's some houses that are extremely too close. I think there may be enough that they could possibly 3-lane that. If they can make the deals. Maybe we could get a 3-lane through there. 'Cause
That would be
we do
nice.
need some turning lanes in between there.
It would cut out on some of these things, and it just holds traffic.
Yeah, it really does.
But also in the same breath, and I don't mean this ugly in any way, with the population decreasing within the city, you don't see money being invested into something when the population is going this way instead of up. Am I?
Well,
does that
now-
make sense?
All right, so the money's out there. I think we've got to apply for some more, but the plan is from Highway 19 north all the way to Meridian. on North Hills, they're going to pave every bit of that. I think the question is there going to be money to 3-lane it?
I don't think so.
And I think we'll get enough money to pave it, but I don't think we'll get enough money. But you said a key thing. The population of the city is dropping. Some of those are moving out to the county,
Correct.
But the county's also dropping. So when you're losing people, it's harder to spend more money on a population that's fallen. You invest that much money when you have something to make a population rise.
Yeah.
So I don't see a 3rd lane coming out of that.
So that's the bad news we have to tell you. As much as we'd love to tell you that's going to be corrected, it's just probably not there.
So we're getting some love the vote no commercial.
There's a group of folks that have gotten together that pooled their money and are starting an advertising campaign for folks to vote no on that is what that's about.
This has got to be the school board
Yes.
deal, and I've read a lot of stuff this weekend over it, and we're going to bring some more to y'all.
Yeah, I've got notes on all of this, and we're not being ugly. We believe in children getting an education and helping them as much as possible, but we also know that we're out of money. We had X amount of money, and sometimes you got to back up and go, well, this is what we've got. Let's make the best of what we've got and not cost the taxpayer more because they can't take it.
I mean, so one of my other questions is, what can we do to once we educate them and we pay the taxes to educate them? Are those jobs going to be available here, or are they going to run off and leave to another city, state, to get a job and raise their family where they can make a living? And if they do, the people who are getting educated are leaving the area completely and not investing their taxes back into what provided their education to begin with. So when you educate people for the sole purpose of leaving town, you're taxing.
Our population is falling. Now, the argument would be, well, we've got to provide education for people to stay here. That's going to be the argument.
100%.
And we don't have a problem with all of that. The problem is we've got X amount of dollars. Let's start, maybe add on later. Sometimes you have to reboot. But the vote is coming up for you to decide. Me and Odie can't decide that for you. And we're going to talk more about this tomorrow, about how the voting and where it will be. All of that's coming up tomorrow. We got more to come up. We're going to tell you about what's happened at a high school football game in the state of Mississippi. It's rough.
Your local farmer knows a good deal when he sees one. The L-Series Kubota tractor is the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA and offered at Parish Kubota with 0% financing available. Come see why we're more than a tractor store at Parish Tractor.
If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel.
Health Now is your locally owned medical equipment store. Every person's need is a little different, and they offer a little bit of everything from hospital beds, wheelchairs, reclining back wheelchairs, breathing treatments, CPAPs and supplies. They even have walkers, bath products, and oxygen. And the great thing about Health Now is they offer same-day service. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and on call 24/7. Health Now Medical Equipment, where we treat our patients like family.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Sad as this is, we have to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yazoo City, Mississippi, a 15-year-old was killed at a football game behind the stadium. And this was not, it was a gunshot wound at a ball game. as constantly and throughout our cities in the state of Mississippi, we're facing this problem. Why do you see so much law enforcement at ball games? To stop things like this upon entry. And it's going to be to where every stadium has to have a metal detector before letting
Like
people
Meridian
in.
High?
Yeah.
When you can't go to a ball game to support your high school without a threat of losing your life, you have lost your city. That is a shame that you have the mentality of people that will go to that length as far as taking a life at a high school football game. That means whatever we're doing is not working.
That's right.
And go back to what was working when you didn't have this kind of crap and figure out how you can get back to that. Maybe a lot of that has mom and daddy raising kids.
You bring that up, and I stutter a little bit there trying to find the words, but so many people that I run into, and they will tell you, especially grandmothers, of parents not doing their job, grandparents jumping in when they have to. Family is everything. And on top of that, you put the G word back into it, and it would change everything. God, going to church on Sunday will fix a lot, Odie.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Go to church on Sundays. Live our life the right way. Be a part of society to where you get through making a living and not depending on the government to take care of you. You look at things in a different light.
Do you know much about, I think it's the Seattle Seahawks? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I don't like them.
Okay, we got somebody from Mississippi that has signed on the dotted line and is leaving from Vicksburg, Mississippi to go play pro football. Ben Brown is his name, and as he heads off to go to the pros. So congratulations for anybody that can make it. That's a real big deal.
Congratulations, Ole Miss star. Glad that you were doing that good. Hey, sometimes you can't pick your team on that, and I understand it, but
that's right. A quick recap before we get out this morning. We had a lot of ball games over the weekend. We want to say thank you to Senator Jeff Tate, who helps us bring us the high school football scores. As we look at this, West Lauderdale over to 1 point, Clarkdale and West Lauderdale.
Now, I've just heard some people talking, but from what I heard, it came down to where Clarkdale had a chance to make a field goal, and they missed.
Oh, right there at the end. Boy, you want to talk about tension.
Yeah.
As we go to Lamar, they won 17-0 over Winston Academy. Northeast took on Wilkerson County 28-0. That's a whooping there.
Yeah, it is.
Look at Meridian High School, 42-14 Friday night. Russell Christian Academy also had one of those at 42-0.
You know, they always have a good. Of course, they're 8-man.
8-man.
Yeah, they're 8-man football.
Kipper Academy, 28-0 over Hebron Christian School.
Does these other teams know that they had a ball game?
I don't think they did. Southeast took home a win, also 20-6.
Man,
congratulations on that.
Pelahatchie lost.
Pelahatchie lost by 2 points to Stringer.
Wow.
18-20. Taylorsville and Bay Springs. Taylorsville had 14. Bay Springs 26. Even Sebastopol pulls out a win, and that was a close one over Lake.
Ooh, down to one touchdown.
29-22. Kipper County, boy, the high school done good. 45-6 over Noxapater.
Wow.
Nanawaya 7 to East Webster 41. Didn't work out so well for them.
No.
All right, we move over to Newton, and a little. It looks like Forrest might have won that, Odie.
Yeah, is that 48-6?
Yep.
Wow.
We see Enterprise and Union. Union taking home the win at 28-7 over Enterprise Bulldogs.
I thought Enterprise had a pretty good team.
I did too. They must be pretty tough there in
Must
Union.
be a new one.
Yeah, Newton County 34, Raleigh 22, Neshoba Central. Here's a pretty big one there. Neshoba Central 0, Louisville 31.
Ooh, Kosciuszko 55 over Leake Central at 14.
Man alive, they were scoring. As we look at Noxubee County 28-16 over Columbus. Silva Bay, I remember Silva Bay a lot there. 6-40 against Canton Academy.
Man, Humphrey's 30. You'd think if you got 30, you was doing good.
Yeah.
Humphrey's 30. Lost to Newton County, who had 67.
You want to talk about running. Them boys was tired.
You know they were.
And our final score that we got on this would be congratulations to Quitman Panthers, 20-6 over Heidelberg.
Man, ain't that something?
That's some games there. And again, a big thank you to Senator Jeff Tate bringing us that scoreboard. We'll have it coming up again Friday night as we'll track all of these down.
And happy birthday, 46 to Jennifer yesterday. Jennifer Clark had a 46th birthday yesterday. Happy birthday.
Well, it's end of our time. We appreciate each and every one of you coming by and staying with us for a few moments.
Couldn't do it without you. Don't want to do it without you. We love you. Have fun on this Labor Day. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you in 23 hours. Have a great day.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.